Here's a shocking thought. An argument can be perfectly logical and still completely wrong. How? Because logic checks the structure of reasoning, but critical thinking checks the whole argument, the premises, the evidence, the assumptions, the source, and the context. That gap is exactly why the distinction matters.
Welcome back to Critical Thinking Secrets, the channel that gets you to think. Well, critically!
Logical thinking is reasoning according to the formal rules of valid inference, deduction, induction, and consistency. It asks, does this conclusion follow from these premises? It's concerned with the form of reasoning, not whether the starting facts are true. Think of a math proof. If the steps are valid, the conclusion follows. But if the initial numbers are wrong, the proof is useless. Here's a real-world example. In courtrooms, lawyers often construct airtight logical arguments. But if the evidence itself is flawed, say a witness is unreliable, then the logic doesn't save the case. Critical thinking uses logic but goes further. It asks, are the premises true? Is the evidence sufficient? Is the source credible? Are assumptions hidden? Is the framing fair? Critical thinking evaluates the whole argument in context. It's the difference between checking the math and checking whether the numbers came from a trustworthy source. For example, in journalism, critical thinking means not just analyzing the headline, but asking, who wrote this? Why? What evidence supports it? And that's how you separate fact from propaganda.
Ever feel stuck in a loop, making the same mistakes again and again? It's not bad luck. It's how we think. Without the right tools, we fall into traps, waste time, and miss opportunities. That's why we created the Critical Thinking Toolkit, your step-by-step guide to clear thinking, smarter choices, and real progress. Inside you'll find decision-making frameworks, bias and mistakes guide, checklists and mental models, self-assessment exercises. Thinking smarter isn't about working harder. It's about using the right approach. With the toolkit, you'll stop repeating mistakes and finally move forward. Don't let tomorrow look like yesterday. Grab the toolkit today. Tap the link below and move forward. Think better, decide smarter, move forward.
Here's how they diverge. Focus. Logic checks validity of inference. Critical thinking checks soundness of the whole argument. Checks. Logic asks, does the conclusion follow? Critical thinking asks, are the premises, evidence, and framing good? Scope. Logic is structure. Critical thinking is structure plus content, context, and bias. Ambiguity. Logic struggles with unclear premises. Critical thinking weighs uncertain, real-world inputs. Relationship. Logic is a component of critical thinking. Failure prevented. Logic prevents invalid inferences. Critical thinking prevents valid but wrong conclusions and bias. Here's another real-world example. A company might logically conclude that sales are rising, so the strategy works. But critical thinking asks, are sales rising because of the strategy or because of seasonal demand? Without that check, leaders make confident but wrong decisions. Yes, logic is necessary within critical thinking, but not sufficient. A valid argument with a false premise produces a confidently wrong conclusion, logically airtight, critically unsound. Critical thinking adds the checks on premises, evidence, and bias that logic alone cannot. Think about it. During the year 2008 financial crisis, many investment models were logically consistent, but they assumed housing prices would always rise. The logic was fine. The premise was fatally flawed. To build logical thinking, study argument forms, learn common fallacies, both formal and informal. To build critical thinking, habitually ask where premises come from, question what evidence supports them, spot hidden assumptions, ask whose perspective is missing, then apply logic on top of that vetted foundation. For instance, in medicine, doctors use logical reasoning to interpret test results. But critical thinking means asking, was the test reliable? Was the sample representative? Could bias affect the diagnosis? That's what saves lives. Is logical thinking the same as critical thinking? No, logic checks validity. Critical thinking checks truth, bias, and context. Can something be logical but not critical? Yes. An argument can be valid but built on false premises, logical but unsound. Which should I learn first? Start with logic, valid inference, and fallacies. Then build critical thinking habits on top, evaluating premises, evidence, and bias. Logical thinking ensures your reasoning is valid. Critical thinking ensures your reasoning is true. One without the other is dangerous. Together, they're the foundation of smarter decisions in business, in science, in everyday life. Because the smartest choice isn't just to think logically, it's to think critically.
Finally, remember, critical thinking isn't about being a skeptic. It's about being a seeker. You're not trying to poke holes for the sake of it. You're aiming for the best outcome with the information you have. We've only scratched the surface. The Critical Thinking Toolkit is full of checklists, mental models, and hands-on guides to help you sidestep common pitfalls and think with clarity and confidence. Whether you're solving problems, making decisions, or just trying to sharpen your perspective, it's a resource you'll keep coming back to. Curious? Check out the link in the description.
Thank you for joining us today. Enjoyed this video? For a more in-depth analysis, visit our website, www.criticalthinkingsecrets.com to read the full article. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with our latest weekly release content. We have over 300 videos on our channel to help kickstart your critical thinking journey. Also, as an added bonus, just for supporting our channel, you can download our free critical thinking ebook. So go ahead and click the link below. Till next time, keep those critical thinking gears turning. Thank you for watching.